Hey, I'm Byrom, and today I'm going to give you 11 ways to promote your new explainer video. These are the steps I recommend our customers take to make sure their new videos get maximum visibility. So the first thing you need to do is add the video to your website. However, there are a few considerations here. Firstly, which page is best? You'll want to put your video on the most relevant page, and this could be your home page, but it might be a category page or a product page. And this is obviously likely something that you've planned out, but now your video is complete, it's a really good idea to think about it and make sure you're placing your video on the ideal page. Then you'll want to make sure you put your video above the fold. And this means people will see the video as soon as they enter the page. Having the video above the fold means people won't need to scroll down to watch your video. And the lower the video is on the page, the fewer views you're likely to get. Finally, I'd recommend using a business video host. Most people will upload the video to YouTube and then embed the YouTube version on their site. But in my opinion, it's a really bad idea. On your website, you want to control the experience. You want to keep people on your site so that you can move them towards inquiring or downloading or buying your product, for example. And using the YouTube embed might show ads at the end or at the bottom of the video. And people can always click that little YouTube logo to browse to the YouTube site afterwards as well. And YouTube really want to get people to their site so that they watch more ads, whereas you want to keep people on your site so that they inquire and buy from you. We use Wistia as a business video host, but there's lots of other examples available, so do a quick Google search and you're likely to pull up a bunch. So the next thing you want to do is upload your video to YouTube. And although in step one, I recommended using a business video host for your video, that only really applies when you want people to watch video on your website. YouTube is, of course, the main place that people find videos online, and as such, your video could come up in the search results or in the related videos section at the side of the video you're watching. So with a YouTube video, my main recommendation here is fairly simple. Make sure you have a really good, descriptive, actionable title for your video, a great description, and really relevant tags. Okay, so now you've got your video on your website and on YouTube, so it's really time to start getting your video out there, and social media is the perfect next step. And the three main social channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all let you upload video directly. So I recommend you write a post that introduces your video and relates to the interests of your audience, and get your team to share the post, like the post to make sure it gets the widest reach. You could also then get them to write their own post to make sure it gets in front of their audience as well. Another top tip is to remember to pin your video to the top of your feed, so that this means that people see your video as soon as they visit your company page. Then, if you have the budget, I'd recommend setting up some social adverts, some paid advertising, and this doesn't need to cost much. You set the budget you can afford, but it means that you can get your video in front of a large targeted audience. And social media advertising is a whole other video really, but I'd recommend setting your audience targeted and carefully, and make sure you track the results so that you can test and improve as time goes on. Email still gives most businesses the best engagement rate of any channel, so it's really important to write a short email introducing your video and sending it to your list. The best way to set this up is to use a thumbnail at the top of your email with a play button showing. And the reason that I suggest you do this is that Wistia found that emails that have an image with a play button get 21% more clicks than images without a play button. And in the video game, more clicks equal more views, so this is a top tip. However, bear in mind that video doesn't work very well in email, so when people click on the thumbnail, you want the link to take them to a page with the video front and center. Ideally the video will autoplay so they don't have to click play again. You've got a new video, so write about it on your blog, and I'd recommend linking to that article from other articles too. Having a blog article about your video gives people another way to find it, and regularly mentioning it in other blog articles will direct some of that traffic that you're already getting to your video too. Alternatively, you could embed the video in a relevant blog post. But remember, as the video lives on your website, use a business video host instead of YouTube for the embed. The next thing to do is include your video in any guest posts you write on other industry sites. If you're not already doing this currently, then it's something you really should be doing. Find industry news sites where your audience are likely to spend their time. For us, this is sites like business.com, Social Media Examiner, and the HubSpot blog. You'll need to research where your audience spends their time and then ask if you can write relevant articles targeted towards the readers, and then use your video in the post at the relevant point. If you don't have the ability to write, you could find a freelancer or use a content marketing agency. Alternatively, a simple hack might be to find articles that have been written, contact the writer of those articles, and ask them to embed your video in the article where you feel it is most relevant and fits. There are industry groups and forums and communities for every niche. Think of places like LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, or Reddit. My advice would be to start conversations or enter existing conversations that are relevant to the topic of your video. And then where it's appropriate, you can post your video for people to watch. However, it's important, not to be spammy here. Everyone hates spammers, so jumping in, posting your video, and then leaving is likely to do you more harm than good. You'll need to spend some time engaging conversation and post your video if and only if it's relevant. When you take the time to do this well, you're likely to make some great new connections. This is a simple tip, but something that most people don't do. How often have you found yourself talking to somebody about your business and thought it would be really useful to open up your phone and show them your video? After all, your explainer video is supposed to be the perfect explanation of your business. So, top tip, make sure it's on your phone and the rest of your team's phones so it's at hand when you all need it most. Again, this is a really simple tip, but one that's often overlooked. Put a link to your video or, ideally a thumbnail with a play button on it in the signature of your email. That way your video can be clicked and watched in any of the hundreds of emails you send every day. If you've got a screen on your stand, then having your explainer video on repeat is ideal. When we do this at exhibitions that we go to, our video often catches the eye of people walking past, and we then use the video as our sales tool. We have the sound turned down in the main, and then if people want to hear the video, we turn the volume up for them and discuss. Alternatively, you could have your video on the laptops or the tablets of the people on your stand, and this means that people are only a few taps away from playing your video to the people that they speak to. You could also use your video in sales pitches and presentations, and this can be a highly effective way to introduce your business at the start of a pitch. This last item will take more work than the others, but the results can also be fantastic. Quora is a question and answer site, and people ask questions in every niche, literally. So I recommend you search and find questions that you can answer, and where appropriate, embed your video. The important thing here is to write strong answers that others would regard as the best answer for that particular question. If you do this, then your answer will be upvoted and it can be seen by thousands or even tens of thousands of people. So there you have it, 11 ways to promote your new explainer video. If you'd like any help or further marketing advice, you can email me at matt@mattbyrom.com. See you next time.